Hello and welcome back to Buckle Up. I'm Harry King.
And I'm Jasper Bruce Wright.
And this is the Škoda Fabia 130. It's a new, more powerful version of the Fabia, but is it a proper hot hatchback? Fabia 130 then, let's start with a quick explain of exactly what this is, because this is Škoda's birthday present to itself. The 130 doesn't refer to the power figures, it refers to 130 years of Škoda. Actually under here is a 1.5 litre Evo engine that you might find in a Golf or an Octavia or something else, turned up to even more power, but we'll get onto that a bit more later. This now sits at the top of the spec levels for the Fabia, but still it comes in at just a whisker under £30,000. What are you getting for your money, Jasper?
Well, basically everything. You can choose your paint colour and that's kind of it with this. So you get stuff like standard LED headlights by LED headlights. You get excellent things like sporty styling. So look at this, a completely different front bumper with a nice splitter design on it. I love these bits of gloss black plastic. And then it's just, I mean, it's kind of like, it's just a Fabia, but there's a few extra bits. So you've got some lovely decals at the side. You've got some excellent, really nice 18-inch alloy wheels, which are different from all of the rest of the models on this range. They look brilliant. And then at the back, you've got a new kind of rear diffuser and a lovely spoiler at the top of your boot. And then, to differentiate it, you've got this kind of horizontal black stripe across the boot lid, which does look it looks really good, this car.
You know what my favourite thing is? A lot of cars on this platform, rear drum brakes. For this, they've splashed out rear discs.
And you've got red brake calipers on all of them, which look excellent as well.
I think though that's enough talking about how it looks and what you get. This car is about the driving.
Yeah.
So let's go do that now.
So Harry, we are now out driving the Fabia 130, and what a wonderful thing it is to be driving a peppy, petrol-powered hatchback again.
Yeah, it's a rare thing these days.
Very few manufacturers seem to have a pure petrol car in this segment that's available, and to come out with a new one as well. Oh. So, under the bonnet, as mentioned, we've got a 1.5 litre turbocharged petrol 4-cylinder Evo 2 engine. And the headline figures for that, which is an engine that is used in several other products, the power has been upped. So whereas the standard engine here would produce 150 PS, this produces 177 PS.
Woo!
Which is a decent enough uplift. And alongside that, we've got 250 Newton meters of torque, and it's just nice. It feels like the right amount of power for this kind of engine in this kind of car. The reason we've got more power is that the engineers have done some work on the engine, mainly on the intake manifold, so you can get a bit more airflow. And what you've also got though still is, in theory, the efficiency that comes from the Evo 2 engine, because it's got cylinder deactivation technology. How exciting.
What about acceleration, Jasper? What's the gearbox?
So the gearbox is the 7-speed dual clutch gearbox, and they have though revised the shifting logic and software behind that to make it more aggressive. It will hold gears for longer as you accelerate, and it also is a bit snappier when it comes to downshifting, so you've got more power available because the engine's revving higher when you're pulling away from a corner. And I must say, in sport mode, it feels really snappy and pretty excellent.
You've also got paddles, haven't you?
I do, yes. I can knock the gearbox over, and then I've got paddles to row through my 7 gears, and those are very reactive, and the paddles feel good. They fall really nicely to where your fingers rest. So it's just a very good kind of culmination of the best bits of the technology available to make something that does feel a bit special to drive.
And how does it feel?
It feels good. I like how it rides. It feels pretty planted. The suspension isn't the firmest. It's not bone-shatteringly rigid, so you get this nice little bit of roll that's caught over a bump. It's damped well, and it holds its own on the road quite well. It feels like small car but big sensible drive in a way. On that small car big drive kind of front as well, you've got some decent tech in this. So what we've got fully adaptive cruise control with a decent kind of lane keep assist that will latch on and do a bit of steering for you. But also, because this is a Škoda, you can turn off things like your speed limit warning or lane keep assist very easily with like 3 button presses for both of them if you want to.
And it's also completely intuitive. It's a steering wheel control. You don't have to look away from the road. You could basically do it in auto.
Yeah, 1 button. Oh, it's there. Scroll down, 1 press, done. For speed limit warning. And you know what else we've got in here, which I really, really like? Proper climate controls.
Yes, we do. Yeah, this has the previous generation VAG infotainment system that you still get in the Polo as well. So I've got proper physical climate controls down at the bottom and a smaller infotainment screen up top.
I think though now, Harry, it's probably time for me to hop out and you to hop over to this seat to see what you reckon.
So the question sort of is, what makes a hot hatchback? Because this has more power than a standard car, quite a lot more power. It's actually got not dissimilar power to the most recent VRS Fabia, though of course that was a smaller, lighter platform.
Yes.
But is there something else? Is there a je ne sais quoi, as the French say?
Well, I think for me, a hot hatchback is mainly about feeling.
Yeah, no, definitely. It should be a laugh as much as anything else.
You want to be able to have fun in it at a normal kind of speed on a normal kind of road, and even more fun when you go onto a twisty road, such as what we are on right now.
Yeah, and it's not balls to the wall as a car, but actually, on a road like this, being a little bit roly-poly, having not the hardest suspension, it can mean that it's more fun to push. The thing in here that's stepping this down slightly from being a hot hatch, full hot hatch, I think is the kind of throttle response and just the kind of vibe of the engine. I don't know how else to put it. There's nothing wrong with this engine, but there's just something about it that isn't giving hot hatch.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's the torque.
I mean, the torque amount it's a relatively healthy number, 250 newton meters, but you'd probably be looking somewhere close to, say, 300 or 300 and a little bit to be proper hot hatch punchy. Like, it's peppy, but I wouldn't describe it as outright give you a little bit of a kick.
Well, I think if this was a manual and I had full control, it would probably have more of that, but it's, I mean, again, sharpened up, and it's great, and if you take manual control, you can do all of that, but just in its kind of natural state, as it were, it's more of a warm hatch, I think. That's not a bad thing, though.
No.
Not at all, because actually, there's a few rivals in this segment, so you might want to look at one of these if you had been thinking about buying a Mini Cooper C, because this is very similar in terms of power and enjoyment. There are also a few things coming out now. A lot of the electric stuff happens to be this quick, just by having a fairly normal power figure for an electric car. And also the MG3 is the other one that comes to mind. This is certainly more fun to drive than an MG3.
Yes, you get more engagement in this.
Definitely.
But the MG3 is very punchy because of the powertrain it has.
Yes. But I think on a road like this, I'm taking the Škoda every time.
Absolutely, yeah.
The other thing that's fun with this, and they have definitely left fun in, is you can fully deactivate the traction control.
Yes, and there's also a sport setting for it.
And there's a sport setting for it, which you can't always turn the traction control off in a VW Group car. They make it quite difficult sometimes.
I mean, this is slightly buried in the touchscreen.
A little bit.
It's not like there's a button for it, but...
We've been told it properly turns off. I think, though, Jasper, that's enough from us whittering on in the car. Should we go back and do a proper conclusion?
Yes, we should.
So that is the Fabia 130 driven. And Jasper, what are we thinking?
Well, I mean, firstly, what we can say is this looks absolutely brilliant. You could even say it looks fabulous. And whilst I think we can both agree it's not a proper hot hatchback.
Not the full VRS.
No, it does exist within its own niche, and it's a really bloody good car.
Very, very good. Lovely to drive, enough power, and actually a very mature driving experience.
Yes.
Although still fun when you want it to
Yes,
be.
because it's much better than, say, an R-Line, which looks sporty but doesn't drive any differently.
No.
This does drive differently, and it looks more sporty.
An excellent, excellent car from Škoda. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like, comment, and most importantly, subscribe. If you go down into the description, you'll find lots of other ways you could support the channel. We have social media, lots of places to follow us. We post photos of cars and many other things. And we also have 2 ways you can directly support the channel. So we have channel merchandise, and we also have memberships right here on YouTube. So please go and do one or all of those things, and we will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
And make it mine. Can